Above the heart of the Aegean, an island unfurls like a myth in motion. Naxos, where seafoam kisses the golden sand, and the winds carve ancient stories into stone. From the west, the beaches glow beneath the Mediterranean sun. Aegea Anna, Agios Prokopios, alive with kites that dance and waves that chant. But inland, the story changes. The land cracks, scorched by dry wind. Then suddenly, it breathes again, green and cool beneath the watchful eye of Mount Zeus. One island, two climates, countless layers of wonder. Here, the air carries more than salt. It carries memory, legacy, the warmth of citrus, the sting of time, the ghost of myths long whispered. Marble that once crowned temples in Athens was born in these hills. Honey, distilled from mountain blossoms, sweetens the lips of generations. Kitron, sharp and pure, flows like liquid sun through village glass. And towering above it all, the Portera, Naxos stone gate to the past. A threshold between gods and mortals, land and sea, myth and memory. This is Alexis, born of Naxos, child of its wind and stone. A storyteller, but not of fairy tales. She sees things others miss, the way time grows on broken marble, the way the wind whispers different stories depending on where it blows. To her, Naxos isn't a destination. It's a heartbeat. And her camera? A mirror held up to its soul. To the world, Naxos is a postcard, a beach, a breeze. But to Alexis, it is flesh and bone. A place of craft and struggle, of food grown by hand, of marble shaped by stories. Now that heritage trembles beneath a rising tide, of cruise ships, resorts, and strangers who see only surface. She films to remember, to resist, because if she doesn't tell the truth of this island, someone else will sell the fiction. This is not just a story of tourism. It is a story of identity, etched in stone, ripened in fields, and carried by the breath of sport and song. From the cheese of Arsenico to the roar of Panaxiakos fans, from the shimmer of marble to the hum of honeybees, this is Naxos. It may bend with the wind, but it does not break. It endures, it evolves, and through the eyes of Alexis, it will not be forgotten. Beyond the beaches, Naxos beats with a slower rhythm, a pulse rooted in soil, sun, and sweat. Here, agriculture is more than tradition. It is survival refined by time. The land gives, but only if you understand how to ask. And the people of Naxos? They know how to listen. In the Cyclades, water is rare. But Naxos is different. Mount Zeus, tallest peak in the Aegean, does more than watch. It traps the clouds, and with them the promise of green. That promise feeds orchards, meadows, entire villages. A gift of altitude in a sea of sunburned stone. You can't know a place until you've tasted it. Naxos offers itself in layers. Savory, sharp, sweet. Arsenico cheese, cured by cave and time. Potatoes, golden and bold from volcanic soil. And Kitron, liquid sunshine, bottled by generations. This isn't cuisine, it's legacy. On a plate. Before words, there were stones. And before monuments, there was Naxos. Its marble-shaped Olympian temples roofed the Acropolis, told stories when tongues could not. Today, the quarries still sing. Each block cut is a whisper from history. Each sculpture, a memory made permanent. The villages of Naxos aren't just dots on a map, they are living archives. In Philoti, every corner holds a secret. In hockey, every courtyard holds a story. Time here doesn't pass. It pauses. It sits with you under grapevine shade. It walks beside you on cobbled paths. It reminds you how to be human. Again. Naxos is a playground, shaped by wind and will. On western beaches, sails fly like birds in battle. Here, the wind is a partner, or a test. And in the heart of the island, the roar of sport rises. Panaxiakos, the pride of Naxos, wears blue and white like the sea it defends. Victory here is earned. Sweat is a tradition. Naxos is not one story. It is 1,000 woven together. Stone and wind, field and wave, feast and fire. Some stories are carved in marble. Others are whispered at twilight. All of them, Alexis chases, captures and carries with care. Because if you look close enough, you'll see, this island remembers you too. Tourism brings gold, but sometimes it buries soul. On these western shores, beauty is sold by the hour. Authenticity, filtered through souvenir stands and selfie sticks. Alexis came to honor the truth. But what if the truth is being paved over? The veins of Naxos run deep, with treasure, yes, but also risk. Quarrying has brought fortune and fractures. In the earth, in the community, in trust. The same marble that built gods may now be breaking the ground beneath them. Once this land fed us all, the old man says. Now, it feeds visitors who do not stay. Crops dry quicker. Youth leave faster. And the old hills grow quieter each year. Alexis films, but the weight in her chest is heavier than her lens. One by one the pillars fall. Kitron, once bottled like pride, is outsourced, rebranded, diluted. What once sang of Naxos now speaks only of profit. In Alexis footage, the silence is deafening. Progress is a double-edged plow. Some seek to preserve, others to transform. But when roots are pulled too fast, even the strongest olive trees crack. And the village of Falodi, once united in harvest, now splinters over its future. Even glory has a price. Panaxiakos, the island's pride, now competes for scraps, of funding, of fans, of future. Without support, even the strongest colors, blue and white, fade into gray. For Alexis, this is no longer a documentary. It's a call to remember. They build luxury on legacy. They sell sand over sanctity. Alexis's camera trembles, not from motion but fury. If we forget what we are built on, we become rubble. Power smiles with politeness, but holds back truth. The mayor speaks of growth, prosperity, tourism. Alexis speaks of loss, displacement, erosion. Neither backs down. The rain outside grows louder. A storm brews, within and without. What if truth isn't enough? What if the world doesn't want to hear it? Alexis came to tell Naxos's story, but now she wonders if she's becoming part of its silence. And the reel stops spinning. But the mountain still remembers. Above the noise, beyond the cities, Naxos speaks in whispers, through stone, cloud, time. Here, Alexis remembers her purpose. Not to fight change, but to guide it. Not to mourn the past, but to illuminate it. The story isn't over. It's just waiting for someone to tell it right. Not every path is mapped. Some are whispered between wind and stone, known only to those who listen. Locals had spoken of a forgotten site, where the clouds kiss the olives. Alexis follows instinct, not the tourist maps. And with every step, Naxos unfolds a secret. Time buries its treasures in silence. Here, tucked beneath fig roots and thyme blossoms, lie ruins unseen by guidebooks. Not grand like the Portera, but sacred in their intimacy. An old shepherd's chapel. A pre-Hellenic altar. Evidence of ritual, resilience, and reverence. Alexis isn't just documenting history. She's living it. To remember a place is to protect its soul. So wrote Nicandros, a monk scholar, whose letters chronicled the people of Naxos. Not kings or myths, but farmers, bakers, dancers, and wind sailors. Alexis reads every line like a lifeline. His words echo hers, a bridge of purpose across centuries. She isn't alone in her fight. Others came before her, and left the truth behind. Beneath her feet, stories swirl in stone. The mosaic isn't decorative. It's declarative. A map. A message. A mirror. Waves for water. Wheat for sustenance. And the gate, open, eternal, symbolizing the island's promise. Naxos never forgot who it was. It simply waited for someone to remember. This film won't sell beaches. It will reveal roots. It won't be bought by agencies, but believed by generations. Alexis now knows. Naxos doesn't need saving. It needs remembering. And with every cut, every frame, every whispered word from the past, she begins the remembrance. She had no red carpet. Only sand and salt and soul. But as the first frame flickered to life, and the island watched itself, its farmers, its mosaics, its winds, its ruins, Naxos remembered. Not the polished version found in brochures, but the breathing, aging, aching beauty that endures. Truth doesn't need subtitles. It dances in gestures, in sunsets over stone. It sails on time-sweet breezes. Alexis gave them not a film, but a mirror. And in its reflection, the island stood taller, rooted deeper. History, identity, memory, restored by light and lens. The port era stands still, as it always has. A monument not to conquest, but continuity. And though Alexis will leave someday, the island will remain, whispering stories to the wind, etched in stone, waiting for the next soul to listen. This is Naxos.